Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the deciding game number 3, where Neolution International is currently locked in a struggle with Neo.Orange. I'm LD of Beyond the Summit. This tournament is the SEA League, and before we begin, I would like quickly to thank our sponsors once again for making it possible. Zotac, Twitch, eClub Malaysia, XFX, Geel, Invasion, ELG, Ghost2 Gamers for their coverage, of course, Pacific Esports, and many, many more. I'm LD, and I'm joined here today by none other than Maruna, who some of you may remember from the Staff Cup, Cassie with Cinderin.
Yeah, welcome from my side as well. I'm really excited for this game. I have to admit I haven't watched the two other games very closely, but from what I saw it has been really exciting. Moves from both sides.
It's been a lot of Magnus, and we're going to get another heavy helping of Mushi Magnus this game.
I'm actually interesting to see that they pick Shadow Demon first. Shadow Demon is not usually a hero you pick first, but it's so good against all those edgy carries because you can just get your own Phantom Lance army, for example.
And one of the reasons why you would first pick Shadow Demon is if you don't want to reveal your draft, but you want to go for an illusion-based carry like Phantom Lancer later on. Unfortunately, the Kodo was snapped up by Orange, perhaps realizing this and getting a lot of counter push, the potential for an offensive tri-lane, and on top of that, really making the PL pick a whole lot weaker. PL is still a decent carry without Keeper of the Light, but he's not nearly as strong, so we'll see what Neolution does. They also like to go for things like the Nakes. We've seen them go for that. It works well for them in the offensive tri-lane. We saw them try to solo the offlane last game, and that was an unmitigated disaster. The Lifestealer, I know you might not have caught the whole game, but he ended 0-8, 0-8, and had no impact whatsoever. So we'll see if they go for it. If they do, I hope it's an offensive tri-lane, but you're up against Keeper, so it's very difficult to go aggressive against that.
Oh, there it goes.
And they're going to stick with what works, at least what they think works.
But they also pick a Lone Druid, so if they want to put something offlane, they can still put the Lone Druid there and not the Nakes.
Normally with Neolution, I don't think we would see that. It's possible. It's certainly possible. A lot of teams would do it, but this particular team, I have not seen them run offlane Druid, so if they do it, it will be, at least for me, a bit of a surprise. Of course, I haven't seen all their scrims, but it does give them options with their lanes. That's really a great point. And what is Orange going to go for here? They have their solo mid with the Magnus. They have one of their supports. Most likely they should go for that carry now, because otherwise Neolution is just going to be banning those out. But we'll see what they do.
Yeah, they really need something against the Nakes. Snake is such a powerful hero. They actually pick a Sand King. That's interesting.
Yeah, this is something they've been favoring. We've seen Net playing this almost every game, and it looks like it's actually going to be... I'm trying to remember if Extinct or Net plays the Keeper. I think it's actually Extinct who's going to play the Keeper of the Light. But we'll see. It could be Net on the Keeper, Extinct on the Sand King. Either way, these two, I mean, the story of Neo.Orange is the story of Net and Extinct, because they have been, dare I say it, outside of China, the most consistent pair of supports I have seen anywhere, certainly in the Asian scene, and really been carrying this team, because Mushi has been inconsistent at best. They have a stand-in, so they're not playing with Ohio, their star solo mid, and a lot rests on the shoulders of these two supports, and they get very level-dependent supports, especially that Sand King, so let's see what they'll do.
It's interesting to see a Sand King, because when you're watching European or Western Dota, you don't see that hero that much anymore. And it's also a bit weird against Lone Druid, because Lone Druid and Nakes are really tanky, and Nakes can just rage out.
Yeah, and the nice thing, I really like the fact they went for Lone Druid because they're up against a Mag, so you generally want to have multiple carries, especially one that's at least has the potential to sit back like a Lone Druid does, just keeping his hero away. That way it's hard to RP both, and that means as long as you have one carry and as long as both have some farm, you may be able to live. And they did not go for the carry, and as a result, we see what Neolution is going to do. They banned the big split pushers, the Keeper of the Light partners as well. They could have gone for Kodal PL. It's actually, I didn't think Orange would even get the PL, because I thought Neolution still might go for it, but they didn't. And now the carry pool just got a whole lot smaller.
Maybe they have a secret plan in mind, you never know, but at least they banned out a lot of support. They banned out the Jakiro and the Leshrac, which are very good at tower pushing, as well as the Tinker, so they're fearing the push a little bit by the looks of it.
Yeah, they're a little bit worried about just the constant pressure in all three lanes, because if you have a Lone Druid, you can put him in the safe lane, you can offensive tri-lane with the Lifestealer, or just Lone Druid off lane, and then if Tinker's mid, every lane's constantly going to be getting pressured, and unless you just crush the laning stage, the mid game gets very painful. They go for Lifestealer, and I just have this feeling maybe they're setting up for something like a Storm with the last pick. We'll see what they go for. They do have the potential to put the Lone Druid in the off lane, the Lifestealer Ancient Apparition as a dual lane mid, and then Shadow Demon +1 in the safe lane. And so we could see a Storm plus Shadow Demon, potentially, and that would give them a very powerful global punch.
That would be really interesting. I think they have a lot of choices still left with the last pick. What's more interesting to see is what Orange is going to go for now, because they do need some sort of damage deal, and with PL out and with Bounty Hunter out, they can still pick something like a Void, or even a Spectre if they want. But they need something. They could.
Well, Spectre, I would actually love to see him, because he had some apparently bugs with his ultimate and has gotten a lot stronger. They did go for the Void, which... great call by you, by the way. But yeah, Kachik Imba, it's something he's been playing. Mushi has normally been the one position. It's not the Storm. I really thought they would go for it, because Ninja Boogie had a sensational Storm performance earlier this tournament. And also you have the Lifestealer and the Ancient Apparition. So you have essentially Ice Blast, Lifestealer, and Storm anywhere you want at almost any moment. But they go for Beastmaster instead, which does give them some great auras. And it looks like a solo mid Beastmaster, probably... it could be an offensive tri-lane, but I think more likely a defensive one, and then a lone druid in the off-lane. But we'll see which way they go. But either way, this Beastmaster looks to be headed mid.
Beastmaster is actually a decent pick, since the problem with the Storm is that he can jump through Chronosphere. He's not getting stopped by that, but the Beastmaster can just draw the Faceless Void when he's Chronosphering his teammates and disable him for... How long is Roar?
I believe it's 2.5 seconds at level 1, and then it scales up to 3.75.
That's 4 at the highest.
4, yeah. And
well, that's really good.
That's a great point. They also have Disruption. They have 2 ways. If the Void does get a Chrono, but he doesn't catch either of those heroes, he can be purged, the hero he's focusing can be disrupted, or he can be roared. And they go for even more teamfight. This is a rather ultimate-centric heavy lineup, whatever you want to call it. Wombo combos are a possibility in this game.
I didn't even think of Darkseer anymore. You're so used to having him first picked or first banned, and now he's the last pick. That's really not something you see a lot.
It's funny, because the Beastmaster would actually be ban-worthy in, say, China. In the G League, he's played a lot, but he's a forgotten relic in the European scene, and certainly in this scene over in Southeast Asia. So they get the Beastmaster in what some scenes could be late, and then in most scenes, the Darkseer. The Asian teams generally have been picking or banning the Darkseer. I wouldn't say as first pick material, but usually in that second or third slot, we see a lot of teams go for it. But they didn't, and it slips through. I'm not sure how much he'll get accomplished, though. He's going to be up against Disruption. What we'll most likely see him do, I think, is just abandon that off lane, because he's really not going to be able to stay in the lane against Lifestealer. Disruption and Cold Feet is a guaranteed lot of chain stun. So we'll see what KOX actually does with the lanes.
I was about to ask, what do you think is their game plan? They obviously both have strong late game carries. They have a Caudle, which is some early game potential. They have a Shadow Demon, which is some early game gank potential. What do you think the teams are going to do? And someone's birthday is apparently today, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ninja Boogie. If you actually just go on Facebook, I think I have his page liked already. I'll see if I can dig up the link while we're waiting here. But he is from the Philippines, and he is really, he was the MVP, the fans' choice for the group stages of this tournament, and I have not seen him in the playoffs. Or actually, no, sorry, I did see him yesterday. But his performance in the group stages was really impressive. He had a sensational Storm Spirit. So there you go, facebook.com/ninjaboogie with 2 E's. Wish him happy birthday. Be sure to like his Facebook page. And on that note, both of these teams, OrangeEsports.Dota, I believe is Orange's. Of course, now sponsored by Neolution. And then for Neolution International, I think they just use the main Neolution Facebook page, which is something like facebook.neolution or facebook.com/neolution. But you could search and find those quite easily. So, Orange with the new sponsor. Let's see if they can live up to it.
I'm not quite sure what we're waiting for. I think one player is going to the toilet at the moment, and the game is starting.
Oh, you're definitely not peering flags. I gotta fix my overlay here real quickly. So, while I'm doing that, why don't you go ahead and introduce Orange?
Okay, on Orange side we have Mushi on his Magnus, we have K on the Darkseer, apparently is going off lane. Then we have the Trial on top with T on Caudle with KK, how do you say his name? I'm actually not sure.
Kachik Imba.
Oh, that's interesting.
It basically means small but powerful, because he's only 17 and apparently he's kind of short.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to remember that name, I think. I'm just going to call him Void for the game.
That's okay.
And we have Eggs on Sand King.
So Extinct is going to be playing that Sand King. He'll be playing the 4 position. We're going to see Net on the hard support. Pretty standard for him on the Keeper of the Light. The overlay looks good. Everything should be good to go. And over on the other side, they are going to go offensive tri-lane. So they're going to do what we saw in game number 1. Lay on the Lifestealer, Fox on the Shadow Demon with a smoke picked up early. And this is a powerful roaming combo to smoke. As long as you get Disruption and Cold Feet off at the right time, just Cold Feet and then immediately Disrupt. It's a guaranteed Cold Feet proc. You can easily bring a hero down. And they also have Harchiko playing the Ancient Apparition. Last but not least, it's Blah. Faking...
What is he doing?
It's pretending to deny his items, just showing off his S-canceling skills. He'll be playing that solo mid Beastmaster, going for the Bottle Rush. And then last but not least, we have Ninja Boogie on the safe lane Lone Druid. So they're not going to go defensive tri-lane, which means KYXY should be able to get quite a bit of farm.
I'm looking forward to see Ancient Apparition's skill build, since the Chilling Touch has been picked up, especially in trial lane, so I'm curious to see if he's going to go for that. Since it's just so much damage. I mean, it's plus 50 damage on level 1, and that's insane.
The one issue with that spell is it is very expensive, and Cold Feet is also very expensive. And if you actually look at his mana pool, one cast of that, the Chilling Touch plus the Cold Feet, 260 mana. That's pretty much his entire mana pool. He does have a couple clarities, but they don't have the Keep of the Light in this lane. So we will see. I think it is a viable build in certain situations, like if you have a Keeper, but in this game, he'll find himself very poor when it comes to mana very quickly.
Problem is with that offensive trial, and the supports are not gonna really get a lot if they don't kill the heroes off, because they're just staying back and giving farm to the Nakes, and you see Shadow Demon is just a bit standing around here and looking to maybe steal the pull from the Cardinal.
Yeah, he's gonna go body block it and save himself the ward. Extinct could look to come in and Burrow Strike, but they're not gonna get a kill without the Void being here. Oh, he messed up the body block. Got a little scared there.
And it's Alpha Wolf, so you can pull them a lot of times. They don't die that easily.
Yeah, this stack is, especially when it's a stack with Alpha Wolves, it's just gonna, all the creeps getting that plus damage, just gonna maul the wave. And look at the dive bottom. Already the Lone Druid struggling. In fact, Forced to send his Bareback very early, does not want to resummon it.
Oh wow. Yeah, the Darkseer is going for the... I like it when Darkseers do that when they're offensive, if they just stand between the towers, because a hero like Lone Druid can't really do anything. If he sends his bear on the Darkseer, the bear just gets damaged down like we already see.
Yeah, and even Lone Druid, I mean, he's got the bear to try and keep the wave away from him, but the Darkseer, if he's ever able to get a creep wave, he can dive with Ion Shell himself in the creeps. And if you don't play it correctly, you can be killed off. And either way, Darkseer's going to get free farm. That's why I thought maybe they'd go for the defensive tri-lane, because they could zone the Darkseer out very easily with Disruption Cold Feet. Instead, they're going offensive, they want to stop the Void's farm, and he's farming the same as the Lifestealer right now. Lone Druid's not getting nearly as much as the Darkseer. So far, the trades seem to be favoring Orange.
Yeah, also the level of the supports, they're both level 1.5, so it's not really working out for the supports. We'll see what they're doing. We haven't really talked about middle yet. Beastmaster got his bottle now, he's gonna pick up a haste rune, maybe he's gonna make something happen with that.
Yeah, and actually I want to see what his skill build is. He's going for the Call of the Wild, he's not leveling up Inner Beast. It's not as effective against Magnus, because Mag has Shockwave, so he can always kind of counter your push power. Oh, Mushi! Nice skewer there, drives Blah back into the tower. Not gonna be enough to kill him, and he does have a haste, but good to make him waste a lot of that regen, and the Shockwave as well.
Oh, that's gonna be 2 bottle charges at least to bring that life up again. Really nice play, and really nice body block as well. Could have almost killed him there.
And Kachik
So
Emba,
far,
being such a cheeky little bugger bottom.
such a passive game so far. It's a bit...
It's
I mean, look at top, they're just looking at each other and not really trying something yet. So we're gonna see. Maybe we need some more levels on the supports to make something happen.
It really comes down to just good positioning from the supports of Orange, because Neolution have a good killing tri-lane if they can get on top of a hero, but they have not been able to do it. You can see Net's always positioned to the right of the creep camp when he's charging up Illuminate. He only positions himself any farther up if he already has vision of the supports. As for the Sand King, he's either very far back or he's doing pulls like we see now. And this is something Orange is really known for compared to other Southeast Asian teams, is maximizing their efficiency with the supports. We saw it in Game 2 is the reason they won that game, and they're doing it here again.
Yeah, you can already see the Sand King pulling the small camp and then pulling it into the big camp. That's really nice timing from him. That's gonna give him farm and levels, and that's really good.
Again, if they had gone defensive tri-lane, Lone Druid might be getting shut down, but the Darkseer certainly would not be getting a thing in the lane. And the problem is Darkseer is getting a lot of things, and it's in the lane, not even in the jungle. So he's pressuring the Lone Druid, he's denying the Lone Druid farm, who only has 19 CS, barely ahead of the Void. And this is a 1v1. Normally you'd expect Lone Druid to do well in a 1v1, but it's just smart play from KYXY, and it's very difficult to last hit under this tower when your bear's not there, and he's constantly been forced to set it back to base or resummon it, just because of all the damage it's taking for the Ion Shell and the creeps.
And of all the runes, Darkseer finds himself a regeneration rune. That's like the best thing you can have as an offlaner. So that's a little bit lucky, but he's still ahead. So he can buy a fast mech if he wants and really support his team if the Coddle isn't going for it. The Coddle has no items.
Yeah, he's trying to allow Extinct to get his boots up as quickly as possible, and it looks like he's going to be getting his. That Sand King's early boots are so important, even compared to other supports, because Burst Strike is very low range, so you need to have the boots to be able to get in, set up that initial stun. This tri-lane is just not working. They're not keeping the Lifestealer is actually behind the Void right now. It goes back to the pulling, the stacking that you've been pointing out and that we've been talking about. I'm not convinced. It's really going to come down to Blah in the middle lane, and he's even behind. All three lanes are just winning them quite handily. And we see them over 1,000 gold ahead, over 1,500 experience ahead.
Actually, Void is in trouble.
Yeah, the Disruption Cold Feet combo, but they just don't seem to have the damage to bring down. He actually goes after the Shadow Demon, now gets open wounds. Fox is playing with fire here. Illuminate finishes the kill. Kachik Gimba is going to get Burrow Striked in a moment if he can't get out of range. That Burrow Strike is only level 1, though, so actually he'll be okay. Now Harchiko trying to run. Harchiko's going up to the shop. Don't go up to the shop. Oh, no. Maybe they're trying to bait this, but I don't know about this choice yet. He'll be okay. Actually, they are going back in because the Shadow Demons rejoin the fight. Extinct will be in trouble. There's the Cold Feet. He should die to the Cold Feet. No, they just can't get him. Now the Poison picks him up. Illuminate, though, almost brings Harchiko down. In comes the Void. Gets Tower, and Lei is going to die. No, Disruption. Don't think it'll be enough, though. One auto attack. Down he goes, even with the Rage. Absolute bloodbath on the top lane. We're not done yet. Fox is bleeding out. Fox is probably going to fall. Oh, boy.
No, he's not.
No, he actually lives with 7 HP. And while this was happening...
Void must have been like, I have no boots, I'm not chasing this. But that's just one of those fights which don't end interesting.
Yeah, it's a unique phenomenon early game because everyone respawns so quickly.
Yeah, look at the Ancient Apparition skill build.
Yeah, he is going for a point and Chilling Touch.
He wants that damage.
It did not quite work out there the way they wanted it to, but that really comes down to just the Keeper of the Light. That Illuminate spam constantly harassing the supports is... When they do try to go, when you have this aggressive tri-lane with really nuke-based hero-killing type, it's not a pushing tri-lane like, say, a Windrunner, Keeper of the Light, Sand King, or something like that. This is a killing tri-lane. And you can't really go in and kill when you're all sitting at half HP, and that's how Neolution finds themselves almost the entire game.
Yeah, the Magnus is actually heavily out-farming the Beastmaster mid. Where is Beastmaster? He's running back to base. He's being pressured a lot. I mean, look at the last hits. It's Darkseer leading and it's Mushi leading on his Magnus, and those two heroes, they're gonna get their items up fast. Darkseer has Tranquil Boots now, and Magnus is probably gonna go for a fast Blink Dagger, is he?
Yeah, well, that's what we've seen from Mushi every game. He's up to 500 gold. He's farming very well. And this is one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of not going the Inner Beast build, especially up against the hero that can push the mid lane. Because you just constantly get outpushed. You can't really control the runes that well. You can send your Boar to deny them, your Hawk to scout them. But you're not really able to go contest them directly with your hero. And the Boar just doesn't really do much against Magnus because he has high base armor. You're never going to actually kill him with it because he can always skewer away. So I'm not sure about the skill build, but it's also mostly just Mushi outplaying the Beastmaster a little bit in the lane. And that's important for them because Mushi got crushed in game 1. Not in the lane, but in the mid game. And he's playing a lot better here in game 3.
Yeah, you can, if you look at the graphs, you can already see that there's someone getting ahead. But there's smoke on top, and they're gonna catch the Sand King. Are they?
They catch him, but they don't get the disruption off. Now they do. He walked out of the sandstorm. Now he gets surrounded. He can Burrow Strike away. What a beautiful Burrow Strike by Extinct. Hero Mushi arrives, kills off one. Once more, he will get it. Give the kill to Kachik Imbo. That's what they're gonna try and do. Look at these supports just setting everybody up.
And the couriers in the middle of the fight. Oh, poor courier. I'm always so sorry for the couriers if they die. But that was nice fight. When did Mushi TP in? I actually didn't see it. But he was quick on the TP button there.
Yeah, I think he TP'd really behind the tower and then just ran directly down. And the Beastmaster, it was too far away from one of the issues with that fight was a little bit too far away from the Beastmaster's tower for his TP to be as useful. But again, mostly it's just coming down to Orange with the superior positioning in these fights, and a lot of that comes down to vision. Vision is always important in these games, and I mean, look at the vision top. Your offensive tri-laning, you see absolutely nothing. You have no idea where the Sand King or the Keeper of the Light are. Makes it very easy for Illuminate spam to happen, and pretty much everything going their way. Uh-oh. Are they going to go in for this? Lei trying to run Illuminate. Does Burrow Strike, catches him out. But Faceless Void Still alive, still very tanky. He did max time lock, actually. Still, in spite of that Beastmaster rotation top, they get nothing out of it.
Yeah, they wasted the roar and their carry died. And Lifesteal is actually falling behind in levels. If you look at the level chart, he's level 6 and Void is level 8. That's getting big difference.
Maroon, I have a bad feeling for Neolution International. They gotta find something. Even the Lone Druid is not winning his lane. He's behind the Darkseer. It's very unusual to lose all 3 lanes and then somehow win a game. That is something you don't see too often. But they're gonna need to pull it out of the hat, or they're going home.
Now they still have a lifesteal. Lifesteal turns incredibly strong in late game. You know that they still have a Shadow Demon so they can clone the Void, but it's not looking that good. What can they do now? What should they do in your opinion now?
It's so hard. What I would have liked to see earlier from the Beastmaster is try and control the tempo. Don't react to the ganks of Mushi, but look to set them up. Still, I think they might be able to find an opening. Maybe the best thing to do is go and gank KYXY, because he's always way behind the creep wave. If Beastmaster was here, he could easily set up a kill. Currently, he's out of mana, and part of that just comes down to rune control, which he hasn't really had since he has no points in Inner Beast. He's not as good at controlling the waves. And Mushi's been getting all the runes. He's got a reach.
Oh, he's killing the Darkseer, is he?
Oh, is he really? Nope. The Stout Shield proc. The Stout Shield proc and it saved him, and now he's gonna die.
That's so unlucky. But he got a lucky entangle on the Darkseer, and then he almost killed him, and then he falls. Oh, that's so unlucky. Falling to the Magnus there. And Magnus even has a regeneration rune, so he doesn't care.
And Blah's back at base again. Mushi has just not left the lane. He TP top, then he came straight back mid. He's getting all the runes. Beastmaster's getting none. And now he's got his blink. And now the game gets really hard.
But now the Dire know they're ahead, and now they can start pressuring. They have a blink digger, they have level 4 and Sand King, so it's getting better, but if they have that epicenter and all that, if that all comes together in one big wombo combo, they just wipe the Radiant team.
Yeah, and you can just channel your epicenter outside of Chrono, then burrow strike into it or blink into it. Obviously the Darkseer's vacuum is great to set up that Chrono or to follow it up, and it's just such... they also have the items coming out. The mech is going to be up... It's pretty much up now on the Darkseer. The mag's got the blink. There's really not much else you need except just let your Void get a bunch of items. He's not particularly rich for a Faceless Void, but then again, neither of the carries on Neolution, so it doesn't matter if your carry has a slow start if theirs do too, and that's what we're seeing here. Oh, they're going to mid. Oh, Mag RP under the tower by Mushi. Could maybe go back in with a shockwave. He is... Nope, just misses.
Oh, he misses. Oh, interesting play. What I was about to point out is that the Radiant supports are falling behind in levels. And you want to have an Ancient Apparition with his ultimate, and you want to have that Demonic Purge to slow down the Void and everything, but they're falling behind, and they're kind of losing the grip on this game at the moment.
I really feel they would have been better off just defensive tri-laning. Like you mentioned, Ancient Apparition is a support that really needs level 6 to hit his prime. And, well, it's hindsight's 2020, but even when these lanes started, it just felt like their lanes were better suited for a defensive tri-lane. It may just come down to here players and who's comfortable in what roles. Perhaps Ninja Boogie, we almost always see him on that farming role, did not want to play the off lane, or they just didn't want him there.
Oh, top. Nyx is in trouble.
Oh boy. And Voiceless Void, when he gets to a certain point in the game, is just one of the natural counters to Lifesteal, because he doesn't care about your rage, he doesn't do any magical damage, and his ult goes through it, and the bash goes through it, so if Lifesteal has a bad start, Void just owns him. And we're seeing
Void
that.
has a Battle Fury at 13 minutes.
Yeah, it's not as good farm as we saw last game from Kachikimbo, but he's been contested. It was an offensive tri-lane. Last game, he's just free farming.
I mean, now it's getting, let's have a look at the graphs, it's getting so obvious, it's almost, what is that? 9k gold behind, it's a lot.
Mushi was fishing for that blink skewer. He missed it because Fox disrupted himself. I think Mushi would have missed that slightly anyway. This is looking like a very one-sided close. What was a very exciting start to the series. And the clock is ticking for Neolution International because they don't really have the better 5v5. Sure, they've got multiple carries, but their carries aren't farmed. If you have multiple carries on the worst 5v5, you need your carries to be ahead so they can find solo kills and aggressively split push. When you're behind like this, and you have the worst 5-man, and you're losing towers, which they lost mid, and you're not getting towers, I mean, this is not a recipe for success with the kind of draft they have.
I don't think this is the Radiant's game to win anymore. I think the Dire has to lose it to give the Radiant a chance of coming back. And who's disrupted there in middle? Oh, it's Mushi. He's going for...
Is he gonna
Shadow
RP
Demon.
this? Is he? He doesn't want to.
Oh.
His Fox is jukey like a boss. Illuminate. See ya.
Yeah. And the Darkseer is still sitting in his lane, is happy with his mech, and is pushing the second tower now.
Like you pointed out, how did this guy slip through to the last pick? And they had the shot at him. They wanted the Beastmaster. Would certainly fit their draft. Yikes. This is painful.
This is not looking good. I mean, even the items. We have face boots on Nakes and face boots on Beastmaster. That's kind of the biggest items we have on the Radiant side.
Those actually, they are the biggest. You're completely right. At top lane, there's a lot of action. That was a nice Chrono. Sets up the Illuminate. Now the Burrow Strike on 2. We're not seeing Epicenter because he doesn't have mana for it, but Blah goes down anyway. Keeper of the Light on the way out. In the end, they do kill off the Void. Can they get more? That's the big question. Getting the Void is nice, but bottom lane, there's also a gank on the Lone Druid, who is not going to be as lucky, so they kill off the Lone Druid. The Ancient Apparition's forced back to base. The Chrono was used top, and they did kill the Void, but they lost the Beastmaster, and it's now 2 for 1. And they're not getting a tower off of these kills either. Again, just another fight going Orange's way, and it's really coming down to... At this point, you just can't go aggressive, because they Chrono you, and then Keeper of the Light channels Illuminate, and then you all die. Or run.
Yeah, and there's so many. I mean, all towers are still up and barely touched. The top tower is down to half health, but the middle tier 1 and the bottom tier 1 isn't even touched. This is really not looking good, and I don't know what I could say about what should they do. They can farm the Nakes, they can try farm the Lone Druid, but if they keep getting picked off in Chronospheres, it's not getting better.
This was a draft that was designed to dominate the lane. Neolution International, they ran the offensive tri lane to slow down the Void's farm. They didn't do that. They ran the Lone Druid to the safe lane to have an easy lane in a 1v1 matchup, which normally a Lone Druid safe lane does get. But Ninja Boogie got a bit outplayed. He didn't have an easy matchup because it was Darkseer, and Darkseer did a nice job creep skipping. The Lone Druid was the one getting pushed. I mean, how often do you see that? Safe lane Lone Druid is usually the one doing the pushing, but the tables have really turned.
And, oh, there's Roar going off on Darkseer.
They do a follow-up, but he's got a 4-step and a mech! And he vacuums the Beastmaster onto the cliff! And they can't get in range for a disruption. Oy vey. Oh, this is just...
They're trying, but it's not working. They're really trying to find heroes to kill them quickly, but the level and item advantage is just too big now. Like you said, he has a 4-step, he has a mech.
That's just ridiculous. I mean, just having the mech Arcane Soul Ray would be great at this point. That'd be very good farm for your offlane Darkseer. Not amazing, but certainly solid. To have a 4-step and 500 gold is just filthy.
The Beastmaster.
And he's gonna force a TP. He may even get this kill. There's no roar. There is a cold feet. That'll drive him back. 3 heroes just to deal with the offlaner.
I think I haven't seen a Darkseer farmed like this. I mean, look at his CS. I haven't seen that in a while.
I mean, he's so efficient. He pushes in the lane, then he goes to farm the enemy jungle, then he goes back to the lane. He's farming. He's basically farming multiple places simultaneously with Iron Shell pushing one part of the map, stacking and farming the enemy jungle. And he's been checking the runes as well. He's been contributing to the team directly. He's the high farmer in the game. And this is with a Mushi Mag, who generally likes to farm quite a bit.
Radiant structures are
and guess whose support aren't level 6 yet at 18 minutes?
Well, it's the risky run with that offensive tri-lane. Getting under level. Oh boy, here comes the big wraparound. This could be a disaster. There's a blink 4-staff on Meg. Yeah, avert your eyes. This is not rated PG. Oh, here we go. Chrono catches out Blah. Epicenter being channeled on the fringes. Now he's backing away from that Epicenter, but into a Burrow Strike. Lifestealer is still raged. That's about to wear off. He gets the tower denied. Nice little play by Lei, but it doesn't seem like it matters. Fox will fall. Now the Ancient Apparition on the run. There could be another Burrow Strike, but he's actually not going for it. Surprisingly, Lifestealer's infested in the creeps. They're not denying those creeps. So they're going to get the Lifestealer get away. Meanwhile, they're going to kill off the Ancient Apparition, who is very dead. And now Lifestealer, if he gets bashed here, he may die. There's your bash. They just need a vacuum. Vacuum's available. Yep. Well, that just happened. That was, I think, a team wipe. Did anybody live through that? No, Shadow Demon just respawned. Lone Druid lived. That's it.
Yeah, he's middle, he's farming, but he also doesn't really have a lot. And at this point, I would actually not be surprised to see a GG call after another team fight, because they're behind 214. They have no farm on their carries, they have no items, the supports have no levels, they have no towers. Coming back from this would be a big surprise to me.
GG incoming any moment. The famous words of Adebisi. I mean, we will see them fight on, most likely, because this is the end of the road if they lose this game.
Yeah, of course. I hate saying this as well. Saying this is so over is stupid, but at this point you must just say it's really unrealistic. I mean, Void is soloing Roshan at the moment. Okay.
Yeah, he
But
doesn't have
his
lifesteal. He
Bottom
really
tower
can't
is
do
under
this.
attack.
He's trying, but it's not really
Unless he gets the...
working.
He needs some power, he just needs someone to tank it. But they can do Roche, because they have the map control, they have the item advantage. Neolution can't take a fight. They're 20k gold behind. Well, not quite. 16k gold behind. 16k experience behind. Like, phase boosts are still the biggest items that anyone on their team has.
The only thing the Radiant is actually ahead in is vision. They have vision in the middle lane, while the Dire has no wards up at the moment. But they don't really care, because they are not afraid of getting caught off. They're just so strong. Sand King has a dagger, Darkseid has a 4-star, Void can always jump out there. They're not afraid.
Why should they be? If Neolution somehow lost this game, that would be the biggest throw in the history of competitive Dota. And or if Orange, Neolution Orange. I keep on saying Neolution, but there's actually 7 different Neolution teams.
It's confusing. I totally agree.
They take the machine gun approach, you know, just spray wildly at the wall and sponsor a bunch of teams, and then hopefully a few of them turn out to be successful. And Fox is in... Well, he's got Purge, but he doesn't have a TP. KOXY should be able to kill him. Aegis on the Void.
Dire's
And
top
Magnus is
tower
coming
is
top
under
as well.
attack.
And I feel...
He's juking.
That was
he's
a
running
very
up to the
nice shot
side.
by Fox.
Nice one. He doesn't have a TP though, so he has to walk back.
Yeah, his TP got cancelled by the Darkseid vacuum, but he's actually gonna live in spite of it. Wow, talking about breaking some ankles here. KYXY. A little twisted one there for him. But to what end, I ask you?
Yeah. Oh, the Ancient Apparition is 6 now at least. But how much is a level 1 Ice Blast gonna do now?
It'll stop the mech from being useful if he hits at the right moment.
But do they have damage? Yes, they have a lifesteal on the Lone Druid, but the Lone Druid doesn't... He's still going for a Radiance, but he's not even close.
There's only so many ways to say this team is ridiculously far behind, but I think we found all of them, Maruda. They are ridiculously far behind. I mean, like you said, phased... Not even phased drums, phased Bracer on the lifestealer. The Lone Druid with trying to get that Radiance up, which honestly at this point is probably the best thing, because I feel the only way they win this game is if somehow they manage to get the Lifestealer huge and the Lone Druid huge, which is going to take like 40 minutes. And a Radiance is the first step in that process. So we'll see if he goes for the Relic, but... we're going to see Orange just start ganking that bear soon. The Void's going to be able to solo it once he gets his next damage item. Well, it looks like he's going for Aghanims, which...
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
I do like it because it's got such a low cooldown when you get the Aghanims. It's only 1 minute.
It's kind of their initiation in a way, and if they have that low cooldown, they can start with that and not with the Magnus.
This also means we're unlikely to see Mushi completely whiffing his Chronos or his Mag RPs this game. So Mushi's probably happy.
Yeah, now they're just split pushing, pressing all lanes. They're just waiting. The Dire are waiting for the last fight so they can take the GG of the Radiant.
Rod of Atos on net, and this is their 5-position support with a casual Rod of Atos. That is a freaking expensive item.
Is that actually working through Nax's Rage?
Radiant's
Rod of
bottom
Atos?
tower
Yeah.
No, I don't believe so.
Oh, then it's an
I
interesting
think
item.
Abyssal Blade is the and Bash are the only 2 items that go for BKB. Or Magic Beam.
Oh, it's really an interesting item because you usually don't see it that often, but looks like you want to go on Magnus Blinks and he fails. Beast Muscle is too far behind. And now they're just going in and going out. They don't really dare.
How do you defend this? If you ever get caught by even a 2-hero Chrono, a couple hero Vacuum, or a P, like in any order, and there's 4 forms of reliable initiation. Reliable initiation at that.
And there it goes.
They're gonna start with the Vacuum, and now the Burrow Strike. The RP catches the 2 Lingerers, and they're gonna be pushed back and skewered into Doom. And then wall drop. Let's drop the wall just for the Shadow Demon. Why not?
And no buyback on the Radiant side.
Yeah, and they know they can't fight it. That's why Lone Druid is pushing top. He doesn't have the Relic up. The Radiance is coming, but it's a very late Radiance against a very fat Void, and a very squishy bear at that. The Lifestealer is still not joining the fight. Now he's gonna come in. They did use a couple of their ultimates there. Chronosphere is
Sand King is
available.
just sitting back. They still have Epicenter with a blink Sand King.
Yeah, they still have Epicenter and Chronosphere, and they're gonna Chrono the bear and then TP away. I mean, talk about safe play.
He has his Aghanim Scepter, so he can do that. He doesn't have it yet, but he has his flying in. If you want. They don't want to throw it.
That's just rubbing it in their faces. But yeah, like you said, it's really just playing it safe. But it's got to be salt in the wound right now for Neo.Int.
Look at the Radiant base. It's like a war of wards here and here and everywhere. That's a lot of vision. Wow. Yeah. What is there left to say?
It's sad too because the game 1 was really good. Game 2 was, well, it was painful, but there were some signs of life. This is just Orange being brutally efficient. It's like watching an assembly line, except the only thing they're building is a loss for Neo.Int. And they're building it
Nix
rapidly.
is trying to farm. Nix is trying to. What is he buying with an Ogre Club? Or what is he trying to buy?
I guess it's a Heaven's Halberd.
Yeah, but he's not gonna finish that anytime soon. I'm not really sure.
I guess he's just spending his gold. Maybe it'll be a BKB, but that's not gonna help you against Chronosphere and RP. And Empower, which does a lot of physical damage. And it's, by the way, a 1-minute cooldown Chronosphere, like you mentioned. Heaven's Halberd is alright, but Chronosphere still removes evasion, so it's not really that great for the evasion. The disarm effect is nice. It's just whatever you can buy, really. And it's gonna be a Sanj.
And there it goes in the middle.
Yep.
Oh,
where's the team? Hawk says, where is my team? Help me, please. There is no help.
Oh, he bought a Sanj. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just spending his money, but now he's
Oh
trying to
my goodness, there's a Hex up on the Darkseer. That's a 3-hero vacuum. And that's everybody dead. The RP thrown out as well. And a celebratory laugh. KYXY is just running rings around the enemy base.
He's so farmed. I can't believe. What is his net worth? He's so damn farmed.
It's not a Darkseer anymore, it's a Farm Seer. He sees the creeps and he kills them ruthlessly.
Oh god.
Ba-boom.
I hope Pyrian Flag sees this. Darkseer is like one of his favorite heroes, I think.
Yeah, he likes the pointy head. He doesn't. Well, he doesn't like having to set up the ult, but he likes the Ion Shell and the Surge. That's always fun. And well, now we have two RPs. I mean, this game it just came down to the laning stage. First of all, the decision to go offensive tri-lane against Keeper of the Light is very questionable at best, especially when you have a support like Ancient Apparition that needs a lot of levels. Then the fact that Lone Druid lost his lane so heavily to Darkseer, and the Beastmaster didn't go for Inner Beast. I mean, all of these factors, plus just aren't play well. There's just, that's too much to recover from. You can't lose all 3 lanes. Epicenter's channeled. Epicenter on basically nothing, but they don't need it to hit anything, really. Ninja Boogie is still running. Hey, may actually bring down Extinct here. He's dropping quite low. Demonic Purge on the Darkseer. About as bad a fight as you could ever hope for if you're Orange. The Epicenter was essentially wasted there. Should be comboed with the Chronosphere, really. Now KYXY is in trouble. He's going to force staff away, just skating along. The last tower shot will kill him. Well, we said they were playing careful. They did not want to throw, and then a bit of a toss there.
It's not the chance to come back, however. Maybe they just want to turtle it a bit and get an Aegis up on Void before they go in. I don't know, because they really have the power to just jump in and kill them all if they do it properly.
There's a Chronosphere in 10 seconds. There's still a double RP. It should be. Like, I mean, what else do you need to break a base? Seriously, this is. It's like having an atomic bomb to open a door.
They're being so careful. Void is TPing top to push that out again. I mean, they're ahead by 18 kills, and all they got was 1 tier 3 tower.
They're still in good shape. It's understandable. And hey, I mean, you gotta learn to play safe because if you're Orange,
I'll keep off the light. Keep off the light is going down to no.
He's denied, even to the bitter end. Neolution can't buy a kill. I believe it does tally it up on the scoreboard, but they don't get credit for that one.
He was dying to and I don't know if you saw it, but he was dying to the Radiance and forced up up into the Alpha Wolves, and they killed him.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I caught it. It was a good effort, but not enough. To be fair, if you're Orange, eventually you're gonna have to play against the Chinese teams, and you can't make mistakes. So, learning how to not make mistakes is, you know, Orange is a team that they've at times given the Chinese teams a challenge, but have struggled to consistently beat them. So you can kind of understand why they played safe. But there is also such a thing as not letting the game drag on too long and giving your opponents a chance where they shouldn't have one. Sure, you're gonna get more items. Your Void is still the hardest carry on the map, but the relative strength of carries slowly tips in favor of Neolution, because one item for them is a lot more than, you know, a third or a fourth item for Orange.
I just love the play from Nakes that he infested the Invisible Hawk from Beastmaster to avoid a gank. It was a really nice play. But then again, it's not gonna help them. I'm really sorry. They're just sitting in their base now, they're not getting any farm.
Yeah, that's actually something I didn't even think about, was they could use the Hawk Bomb. Maybe that's why he leveled up Call of the Wild a lot early, is for the Hawk to be able to infest it, but it's very, very gimmicky to build your entire skill build around that particular strategy.
No, Beastmaster has a 4-stuff now. I didn't know if we point that out already, but...
That's their biggest item aside from the Lone Druid Radiance.
And the Sange on...
And the Sange.
But now they're going in, I think. Although Void is still sitting on top. He has a Mask of Mantis and a Crystallis now.
They have Keeper, so they can always bring him in. Let's see...
Yeah.
Actually, the Keeper's not here. He's mid, but now he's coming. And he's got a force... Everybody's got a force staff.
Everyone is gonna get away from those entangles. And they're farming. It looks like they're completely fine with this. They're stalling it.
Here comes... Yep, now they're going. Nope. They're going back for Roche because it is about to respawn.
Yeah. Like I said, they just want to have the insurance of having a second life on Void. He's gonna sell his TP scroll, and then they're hopefully gonna put an end to this misery.
This is this guy.
Yeah, there wasn't that much going right for the Radiants, I have to say. The laning wasn't going right. They didn't get farmed. They didn't get levels. They didn't get towers. It was not the best game they played in their life, certainly.
And on top of that, the worst team fight, the worst 5-man, even if they had 2 carries, which in theory gives them more late game, their team fight was definitely not as good by any stretch. Just nothing. I'm really scratching the bottom of the barrel right now. I mean, there were points of this game where I think it also goes back to when they started falling behind. The Beastmaster, it was up to him to move, because the one thing about running a Lone Druid is your safe lane solo. His only contribution is pushing the lane. He can't join the fights and do anything big for that first, 10 minutes or so. So it put all the pressure on the Beastmaster, and even losing this lane, we could have seen him try and set the tempo, go for an early smoke gank top before that big fight broke out, try and set up some kills. They could have killed off the Sand King or the Keeper at least with a roar, maybe done some damage to the tower, but, once those first few openings failed, there's just no way.
Ancient Apparition got the last hit on Roshan.
Oh, with his ultimate?
Yes.
I totally missed that.
It says that Void snatched the Aegis. It's some free gold for them, but it's again not gonna help. Void is jumping in.
Lone Druid's caught behind the trees. He's gonna take a lot of damage here. Now hexed up. And there's no way out, but at the same time, there's the skewer and RP as well. Feroce Big Epi should follow, but no, the Chrono. Void wants these kills for himself. Now the Keeper's trying to steal them with the Illuminate. Everybody wants a piece of the kills. Mush, he drops him an RP just to secure one. Ultra kill for the Void. Talk about having enough teamfight ults to get the job done. And now they have beat.
Yeah, I think this is now the point where we can say this game's very much over, even more over than before. Yeah, there is the GG call.
Orange. This series started with a bang, and it ends with a whimper for Neo.Int.
He even points out he stole Roshan.
Close game because I stole Roche. Very, very true. In spite of this kind of one-sided loss, Neo.Int is still a very solid team from Asia, and there are a lot of teams around the world that would be made to look silly by a team of Orange's caliber. As for Orange, they showed some resilience. They dropped that first game, but then they came back. And going into the finals, I would say from what I've seen, the first departure in Zenith may be able to have the clear edge. Certainly Zenith, and maybe even Orange, or maybe even first departure. This Orange team has not been quite at the level overall that you'd expect from such a star-studded roster. And I think a lot of it just goes back to them playing without Ohio, playing with that stand-in. I feel Mushi is best on that one role, and we're seeing him go mid, but he's still got the job done. They move on to the grand finals of the SEA League.
When is that actually?
It'll be tomorrow. We have the 3rd, 4th place decider match first, and then later, I don't know the exact time yet. I think it'll probably be a similar time to, not when this match is happening, but when the next match after, which is going to be in, I believe, like an hour and 15 minutes. Or no, sorry, maybe, is it 15? No, it's in 15 minutes, actually, I think. So probably around the same time tomorrow.
trying to kill the Lone Druid. He's super tanky and he was just juking the 5 heroes. That was really funny. And then he died. Yeah, they're just joking around a little bit now instead of ending.
And Void's running instead of fighting. Didn't want to get cold feeted. Lei pops out into the chrono. Kachikimba.
No one is doing anything.
Just chilling. It's a truce. It's a truce, but Lei ends the truce. And Cheek is not helping him. Now he's blocking the lifesteal. This is where you want that Benny Hill music.
I wonder if Keep Up the Light has actually... Now he uses Rod of Ages, because I haven't actually seen him using it.
It's a pretty good, decent slow. I feel it's not as bad of an item as people make it out to be. I know Aoi2000 is a huge fan of this item. But
it gives good life.
Definitely
it's
a luxury
really good
item.
for support.
Especially for a hero like Keeper, who's very squishy.
He's still gonna drop to the Ancient Apparition ulti.
Yeah. Immediate buyback.
Yeah, but there go the tier 4 towers. Yeah, still a bit of playing around.
Well, Maruna, it's a little unfortunate that your inaugural cast of BTS was such a one-sided affair, but it was certainly a pleasure having you aboard. While we have a moment here, tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, where they can follow you, if they want to hear more of your cast or just support you.
You can follow me on @Maruna_Dota on Twitter. That's all I have. I also have a Twitch page where I recently started streaming a little bit. My upload isn't that good, so if you're okay with seeing me play horrible Spirit Breaker games on not so good quality, you can also find my Twitch stream on Maruna_Dota. And that's fun casting. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining me, and thank you all who are watching for joining us as well as we see a celebratory RP as the game ends for Mushi. Orange are moving on to the grand finals of the SEA League, which will be played tomorrow. Neolution International. It was actually a very impressive run for them, and I think this is a team we will see more of in the future, but they are going home. They get knocked down by their Neolution brothers 2-1. They took that game 1, but they just couldn't finish the job. I'm LD, she's Maruna. Thank you for watching Beyond the Summit's coverage of this event, but stay tuned because we do have more action coming up later today. It should be, I believe, soon after this match ends, in the next 15-20 minutes or so. First Departure versus Zenith, a rematch that these teams played 3 times in the Flash Dota 2 League. Zenith won 2 of those series. First Departure won 1, so this one really could go either way. Stay tuned to see how that one turns out.